Speaking of the last administration, one question for you on Signalgate. As I heard you say this recently, is this the first administration to use Signal for confidential chats?
Absolutely not.
I mean, you actually saw something that told you this was, in fact, being used by the Biden administration, who are out there all over X and other social media, ripping everyone who was on that Signalgate thread to shreds.
That is correct.
So there's no question in your mind this was used during the Biden administration by officials?
I know for certain that it was, to include national security officials.
Is there another way to communicate? Like, are we stuck with Signal?
So the main means of communication for all of us, like this entire building is a secure facility. That means that if you go outside of this lobby, there's a bunch of lock boxes over there where you got to lock your phone in, you got to lock your Apple Watch or your Oura Ring, anything that
even your Oura Ring, wow.
Anything that transmits a signal gets locked up by everyone who works here and everyone who visits here before you leave this lobby.
How are you supposed to count your steps?
Good luck. Take the stairs.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah, exactly. But so the vast majority of the communication that happens is through secure telephones and secure computers and things that are built in to our work environments. However, I do have to leave the building at times, and things have to keep moving and rolling. Same goes for those who work in the White House and those who work across the administration. So at times, for practical purposes, you have to be able to communicate on the go. Signal has been recognized by the federal government during the Biden administration, by the way, in December of 2024, as the preferred messaging app because it provides that end-to-end encryption.
Wow.
That makes it, nothing is completely secure, but it is the most secure option if you need to use it.
You feel like it was unfair to Pete and Mike Walls? I mean, they took the brunt of it.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have happened. There are sensitive conversations that occur in these Signal chats, but ultimately it was not at all what those who are opposing the president's policies and those in the media made it out to be. And I can tell you that there are some of the most vocal critics of that whole situation who also use Signal and communicate things that they would not want released publicly as well.
Not surprised.
Exactly.
As I've listened to you over this hour, I've had one thought recur to me over and over and over, and it is first female president. That is what I like. I look at you and I see it. And I know they put you through the meat grinder the last time, but that was the other side. Now you've crossed over. And so I just wonder.
Thank you for not saying transition.
Right.
People use that word, it's like, okay, that's
no.
one of those words that's like for a certain thing.
It's no. But notwithstanding how rough that was when you ran for president the first time, have you ruled out ever doing it again? Could we potentially see a Tulsi 2028 try?
I will never rule out any opportunity to serve my country. I would not have, if we had talked a year ago, the thought would not have crossed my mind that I would be here and that we would be having this conversation. My decisions in my life have always been made around how can I best be of service to God? How can I best be of service to our country? And that is what has led me here. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I will continue to chase those opportunities where I can make the most positive impact and be of service.
And now, you and I sit here having done something the two of us back in 2016 never would have thought we would have done, which was stood up on a stage and endorsed Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now you're working for him.
Yeah.
I endorsed him too.
Yeah.
And
it was so great. I was there.
I remember.
And it was such a powerful moment and speech that you delivered because of your history with him.
You are very generous to even mention that. What you did for President Trump was huge, and seeing you up there and announcing like your partisan change, you were with Trump. That was like the team of rivals or the Marvel universe coming together.
The Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers. You're one of them. You're one of the most, and the gray streak is part of it. It just works. But I wonder if you do decide to do something, in the future, running for president or individual executive leadership, what have you learned from him? Like, What would you want to take away from the kind of leader Trump is?
He's a very bold leader. And as we see, he's making decisions without care for what the media chirps about him or what his so-called critics may say about him. And he's quite masterful at it, by the way. You know, he's been so effective at connecting with the American people in ways that I think a lot of the politicians or the so-called political pundits here in Washington, D.C. Never really understood, and maybe a lot of them still don't. But it really comes from a place of care, his care for the American people. He doesn't need to do this. He didn't need to put himself through all this. He didn't need to put himself in a position where there were 2 assassination attempts on his life. And the kind of bold change that we're seeing happening now across the government, it's never happened like this under any other president. And so I really respect his boldness and his courage in doing things that sometimes people don't understand or see how it's going to turn out.
Those are things we see in you too, boldness, courage, and you share something else with him, which is fearlessly independent. That's what's going to take you forward. Thank you so much. It's wonderful
so good
to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Gosh, I mean, all of you are going to need it given this environment.
Yeah.
My money's on you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Megan.
Lots of love.